line, then by God, go to war. Don't mamby-pamby around and cause yourself to take more casualties and get into a war of attrition and that sort of thing. If you're going to fight, by golly, let's use the strengths that America has in that battle. And I feel very strongly about that even today. I'm responsible, right now I'm responsible for 108,000 lives. And I got to tell you what, that weighs very heavy on me. Very, very heavy. And I am very much conscious of every one of those 108,000 lives with every single decision that I make. Every one.
That's what the press calls him. The U.S. Army just calls him General. 4-star General H. Norman Schwarzkopf, Commander Operation Desert Shield. Under his command, all the soldiers, marines, ships and aircraft in Saudi Arabia. He's the one soldier who will take the glory or carry the can if it comes to shooting in the Gulf. David Martin of CBS went to Saudi Arabia, where he found the commander still haunted by what might have been if Saddam Hussein's troops had invaded Saudi Arabia instead of stopping in Kuwait.
I'll tell you, the first 3 weeks of this thing, I mean, it was, your heart, your throat type a routine.
Does it look like they were going?
Well, yeah, it did. And, we were very, very vulnerable at that time. And I was, I had many a bad night.
The crisis passed, and Schwarzkopf settled into a routine of 17-hour days, working out of an office in the Saudi Defense Ministry. Rank definitely has its privileges when it comes to working conditions, but after 38 years in the Army, Schwarzkopf is too old a warhorse to let the generals live in luxury while the troops swelter in foxholes.
That's the sort of thing that really, really hacks me off, when... And again, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that anyone is deliberately being callous. I just think they haven't thought it through. Maybe it's because I've been an infantryman all my life and I have seen those things from the bottom and bitterly resented it when I saw it, that now I'm determined that if possible, we're not going to do the same dumb thing. We owe it to our troops to not do it. I mean, we're not really suffering back here, nowhere near as badly as they're suffering over there.
The Saudis offered Schwarzkopf a villa, but he chose a small room tucked away behind his office.
But this is home, and I drag my body out at 7 o'clock in the morning and go back in there and start work again.
Short commute.
It is. I don't have to worry about the traffic. I'm not
short on comforts, long on technology.
Pick up the phone, push that button right there, and I got the chairman's JCS.
I need one of those.
yeah, I don't think you can afford it. I really don't. Listen, it's a blessing. It could be both a blessing and it could be flat a pain.
Schwarzkopf can never get away from the phones, but he can get away from headquarters and out with the troops. This week when we were with him, he flew to an airfield which until now has been a secret base for nighttime missions along the Kuwaiti border. On his way to troops, but still fuming about the stupidity of generals.
Listen, when I was a battalion commander with my battalion deployed out in the field, in battle, the division staff was back at the rear eating off white tablecloths being served, by soldiers and having tea dances on Sunday afternoon with the Red Cross girls. I got to tell you, that is not going to happen on Desert Shield. I can guarantee it better not happen on Desert Shield.
Mingling with the troops does as much for his morale as it does for theirs.
Getting your water?
Yes, sir.
Getting your food?
Yes, sir.
Getting your mail?
Yes, sir.
Anything you all want to know? If I don't know the answer, I'll just make it up.
Good to hear from home, man.
Yes, sir.
You got anything you want to tell me about?
No, sir.
Here's your chance, okay?
Talking to soldiers is also his way of finding out if orders are being obeyed.
You think if I come into a senior commander and say, are all the troops getting their chow, he's going to say, no, we're not giving our troops chow? But so I asked these guys, I said, are you getting mail? Because, I've heard that there's some mail problems. So I asked them if they're getting mail. I asked them if they're getting their chow. I asked them if they're getting plenty of water. Because everybody tells me the water situation is fine out here. So I want to ask them, make sure they are getting water. And so I find out what I need to know. They're not awed by me. They'll tell me the truth, won't you? I mean, they wouldn't hesitate. If something was screwed up, I guarantee you, I'd hear from those guys. They'd tell me.
Schwarzkopf's aides call him the bear, as in grizzly. And they're not just talking about his size. They'll tell you he's a tough man to work for, and you don't ever want him to tell you to do something twice.
I tell Anybody that comes to work for me, I tell them something right off the bat. I say, listen, I wear my heart squarely on my sleeve. If I don't like something, there's going to be no doubt in your mind that I don't like it. And if I like something, there's going to be no doubt in your mind that I like it. And I feel I owe that to the people that work for me. And the thing that'll get me angriest more than anything else will be something where I feel that in our higher headquarters mentality, we have forgotten what it's like to be out there where they are.
Schwarzkoph found out what it was like during 2 tours in Vietnam.
What was your first time in combat like?
Scared to death, but it's going to sound weird now, and I don't want it to sound weird. The first time I was ever really very much in battle, it was almost like I wasn't. It was almost an out-of-body experience, as they talk about today. I can remember at the time thinking, this is kind of strange, because I'm doing all this stuff, but it's really not like I'm doing this stuff. It's like somebody else is doing this stuff, and I'm watching them do it.
Schwarzkopf's battalion was trapped in a minefield, and a young soldier had just stepped on a mine.
Obviously, nobody else was going to go over there, so that was one of those times when I just felt that I had to go over and comfort that kid. I will tell you, I walked over there. I have never, ever had my knees shake, except then, and I guarantee you my knees were shaking.
By the end of his second tour in Vietnam, Schwarzkopf had been decorated with 2 Purple Hearts, 3 Silver Stars, and 3 Bronze Stars.
That's more medals than a healthy man should have.
It's a tribute to the poor marksmanship of my enemies. No, there were a lot of people over there that did an awful lot of brave things and never got the credit for it.